Hello everyone, thank you for your response in the second video. In the third video of the series of your channel, Clinical SAS Tutorial, Easiest Way to Learn, we will be covering three topics. The first is how to import and export the dataset. Second, how to sort the dataset. Third, how to transpose the dataset. Before we go into the detail, let us see the Excel file which we will be using to import in our dataset. In the Excel file, we have three sheets, sheet 1, empty and sheet 3, in which we have only data present in sheet 1. The other two sheets does not contain any data, empty and sheet 3. In the sheet 1, in the first, as an observation, we can see the header which we will be importing in our Excel file. From Excel file into a dataset, we will be importing the same header and the records of these 10 patients. Let us learn first the dataset exporting, which can be done through two ways. First is through LIBNAME. We have assigned the LIBNAME ABC in the engine XLSX and the name of your hard drive location where the Excel file is placed. Since we are using the SAS on demand, we are using this home and the user ID. If you don't know about SAS on demand, please refer to the first video of the series how to use SAS on demand. So we can use only this engine XLSX only if your SAS version is more than M2. You can check your SAS version through sysvlog, which will write your SAS version into the log using %put. In your Excel file, you can have special character other than underscore, but SAS only accepts underscore as a special character. For this, you can assign option valid var name equal to v7. If we run this statement and see in the log file, ABC libname is successfully assigned. The SAS version is more than M2, and if we see the library in the My Libraries ABC, we will have these three spreadsheets, out of which we will have only data present in sheet 1, which is the demographic data. Now, if we want to export the dataset SAS help.cars into the empty spreadsheet which does not contain any data, we can do so through data step. We just want to keep only these 5 variables. If I run this data step and see that the empty dataset which was not used to contain any data now have the same number of observation and those 5 variables which we kept in the empty dataset, and this is how the output looks like. The other way is we can use a proc export for dataset exporting. Now I want the empty dataset which I just created to be copied into the sheet 3 because the sheet 3 in the Excel file does not contain any data. So I'm using the proc export syntax, the dataset name, the DBMS engine name. The replace is the keyword. Suppose we already have the data with the same name, then it will replace it. The out file is the location where I want to place this empty dataset into the Excel file. So if we run this statement and see in the log that now the sheet 3 also contains the data. Previously it was empty. Now if you want to learn the how to import the Excel file in a dataset, this can be done through proc import. Instead of specifying the complete location, this time I am using the ref file through FILENAME Statement. I have given the location to this term ref file using the file name. So I am specifying the data file name as ref file here, the DBMS engine. I want this demographic dataset to be imported in the dataset name called dose data, and it should store in the work library. I want the first column from the Excel file to be used as a header for the data set dose data. That's why I'm specifying get name equal to yes. If I run this proc import statement and see the output data set, the column header is now coming and the 10 records of the patient is also coming. Suppose if I want to sort this data set which I just imported dose data, if you see it is already sorted on subject ID and the doses. The dose 1 is coming first and the dose 2. Suppose instead of subject ID dose, I want to sort through sex and the country. If I will use sex and the country in sorting, then alphabetically F should come first and in the country New Zealand should come first. Let us try this through proc sort. In the proc sort, I want to sort the dataset name which is present in the work library dose data. I don't want to alter these datasets, that's why I created new dataset sorted underscore data. I am using the variables country and the sex to sort my dataset. Now if I see the country will be sorted first, then the sex. So the new country is sorted first, the New Zealand is coming first, all records of New Zealand, then USA. In New Zealand, the females are coming first and then males. The other feature of proc sort is that you can identify the duplicates and the non-duplicate records through proc sort. You just have to use the NODUPKEY statements. The NODUPKEY statement means the key variables states specified in the by will help you to identify the number of non-duplicate records and it will be placed in the data underscore NODUP dataset. If you want to see the duplicate records, you have to use DUPOUT statement. The duplicate records will go into the data underscore dup. Let us run this statement and see how many known duplicates and the duplicate records are there in the dose data. If I see the number of non-duplicate records are coming as 4 because there were two identical countries which were New Zealand and USA, and for New Zealand one female is identical and one male is identical. Now we total have 10 rows out of which 6 records were considered as duplicate and will go into the data underscore dup. This is a very important feature of proc sort. Now the last and the third topic of this video is proc transpose. Suppose I want to transpose the DOS data which is in my library, then work library, then I need to sort the dataset first. Since the dataset is already sorted on the basis of subject ID and dose, I can directly use the proc transpose. Now I want the transpose dataset to be displayed in dose data underscore trans. The prefix, because I am using ID as a country, ID variable specify that which data will come in the vertical form. So the country, which are two, that the New Zealand will come in the vertical form and then the USA. And with each country, country underscore will be added in the header. So the column name will become country underscore NZ and country underscore USA. If you do not specify prefix and you then whatever the values which are specified in the country will come as a column header. If suppose you do not have the values in the column header in the which you are specifying in the ID statement, then by default call1 and call2 will come. The other thing in the proc transpose is a variable. We have specified age, you can specify any variable which you want to display in the vertical form. I am converting in this the observations into the columns. The rows into the columns will be converted with the help of proc transpose. The by variables will remain same just like what it appeared in the dose data. Now let us run this statement and see how the output data looks like. Now you see the subject ID and the dose remains constant and the country underscore USA and the country underscore New Zealand two columns are created because we use the country underscore as a prefix. That's why it is coming like this. Use the variable age That's why in the two default variables age is coming and the age of particular country for a particular subject is coming. Since these two subjects were present in the USA and not in the New Zealand, that's why the age of this country is coming as missing. Hope you enjoyed the video.